This is Math with RHB, and we're looking at lesson 7, which is multiplication of decimal numbers. All right, works a little different than add and subtract of decimal numbers, and we're going to go over the difference and also the difference when you multiply using groups of 10. When you multiply decimal numbers, it's actually a little easier if you know your multiplication tables, obviously, but once you do that, okay, it's a matter of adding up how many numbers are behind the decimal in the question and figuring out where that goes in the answer. So the first thing we're going to do is do the actual multiplication. So the answer of multiplication questions is or are called product so if the question says to find the product of something, then you're going to be doing some multiplying. So in this case we have 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25 plus 2 is 27. Carry the 2. 5 times 4 is 20 plus 2 is 22. Now you'll notice I didn't put the decimal number into the start of where I'm answering the question. Don't need to when it's multiplying. Add and subtract, yes. Multiply, no. Alright, so next question, the next number we're going to put is 0. And we're going to multiply 2 times 4, 8. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Again, okay, ignoring the decimals altogether at this point. And the only reason I'm ignoring them is because I haven't finished with the question. So I'm going to show you, we add. 0 plus 0 is just going to be 0. 8 and 7 is 15. Carry the 1. 2 and 1 is 3. And 9 and 2 is 11. So I have 11,350. But that would be if it was whole numbers. I'm going back to my question and I'm going to find how many numbers are behind the decimals in the complete question. So in this row I have 2 numbers behind the question. And in this, and in this row I have 1 number behind the question. So I have a total of 3 numbers behind. So starting at the end of your number, you're going to count to the left 3 places. So I'm going to start here and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. So my decimal is going to go there. And yes, when there's a 0 in the question, it does count when you move in. So I have 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal in the question. I have to have 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal in the answer. And yes, 0 counts in this case. So, also going to take a look at using multiplication powers of 10 and what that does to decimal numbers when you multiply. And basically, you count up the number of zeros. So, in this case, I have 2.54 and I'm going to multiply it by 10. So I have 1 0 in 10. That's easy to see. So we are going to move the decimal 1 place to the right. So 2.54 will now be 2, I can write here, 2, 5, 4. Next, underneath it, I've got 2.54 times 100. How many zeros in 100? 2. So that means I'm now going to move the decimal place 2 places to the right. So now I'm going to end up with 254, and the decimal will be at the end, or not written at all. And now I have 2.54 times 1,000. So I need to move it 1, 2, 3 zeros. I need to move the decimal 3 places. So that's easy. 1, 2, I'm out of numbers. So you're going to move it the 3rd place, and you're going to put that 0 in. So you're going to end up with 2, 5, 4, 0. Now we'll look at 10,000. Right? And it's obvious it can keep going, 100,000, millions, whatever. And you can just keep going. In this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Right? 4 zeros, I'm going to move it 4 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to end up with 2, 5, 4, and then what have I got here? How many places? 1, 2. Oh, you need 2 more. So 1, 0, 1, 0. All right, so you're going to move the decimal to the right. To the right. Taking into account the number of zeros, okay? So you're moving the decimal to the right for the number of zeros in 10. Number of zeros in the power of 10. So 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 4 zeros, 5 zeros, 6 zeros, etc., etc. So you can keep going. This question, make sure you can still see that. This question, all right, you count up the number of places after the decimal in the question. So number of numbers of after the decimal, in the question, count, and then you count from the end of the answer, from the end of the product. Product to the left. So you're going to start there and go 1, 2, 3, because I had 1, 2, 3. And when you have powers of 10, you're counting to the right. When you have a question that looks like this, you're counting from the end of the answer, product, into the question, to the left. Again, calculator will help you, but you also have to have some understanding of how it works. If you look at 2.54 times 10, you shouldn't need to put that into a calculator. All you gotta do is write 25.4. So you end up with something that's faster to do. Okay, calculator is a helpful tool only if you have some idea of how to use it and when to use it.